All right. Looking forward to solid practice or solid week of practice, I guess, for the Eagles. Getting ready for that. I'll address Shaq. Obviously, he had surgery yesterday, and man, I feel terrible for him. You know, you hate any player being injured, but one of that magnitude and having a surgery on his back. So texted with him last night. He's in good spirits, and but awfully disappointed for him. And then lastly, JT getting Offensive Player of the Week. Congrats to him and everybody else on the offense for contributing. He made some great players. The big 66-yard tud was obviously a big play for us, but I feel like everybody should get props for that as well. Everybody contributed, but heck of a job by JT.
Jeff, is Parks Frazier essentially an offensive coordinator right now? And if he is, and I don't want to piss off Bill Cowher, but shouldn't the guy get an interim title maybe?
I'm not good. Parks is our guy. Parks is our guy, man. He's done a great job. He did a great job calling the plays on Sunday. Again, a ton of input from all the coaches on the staff. Man, they have all gotten together and full on support. But yeah, I thought Parks did an incredible job for his first time out, and really appreciated his focus to detail. What he was expected to do, the role he played, man, and he did a really good job.
Pick up on that, by the way. You met with a bunch of people on the staff, and maybe someone told you Parks is going to be great. You ought to think about him. But how do you pick up on that in whatever you're
Well, he's very familiar with all parts of the offense. You know, when I came in, his role kind of already here. He was working on first, second, and third down, so he had all phases of the offense already. So his attention to detail and what was involved in that. And again, I think Parks was very comfortable understanding what was going to go into us making a game plan, how everybody contributed, and once we went with him, he took it over and did his best with it, and happy with it.
When you came in Monday, there was a lot of stuff going on. You've addressed how Matt Ryan handled the situation, but did you have any questions about how he would handle it?
Yeah.
15-year guy gets benched.
Absolutely, yeah. We actually had a conversation about it, and I just want to know where he was, not only physically, because again, the first, even Wednesday he didn't practice, but not only physically, but mentally, where was he, and where was he as far as contributing and helping this football team win, and I wanted to make sure that where he was and how he felt, because to your point, 15 years in the league and getting benched and all the other things that had that subsequently went with that. Just wanted to make sure that he was in the right frame of mind. He's a pro, and listen, that from everybody that I spoke to, even before I had the discussion with him, talked about how he had supported Sam and the way that he had, what his role in this team as a leader, it did not diminish in the slightest, and so I was very appreciative of that. But yeah, we did have that discussion.
Yeah, this all started with a phone call about the offensive line, right? Jim calling you, and that unit has struggled in a big way this season. You were a consultant. You talked to Frank about it. You talked to Strauss about it. Sounds like you got after him pretty good last week. Tell me about that, and just, you don't dip into a lot of things last week with the situation, but it sounds like that's kind of your thing. So how did you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's just accountability on all fronts, and obviously I know that position specifically, and I have a lot of respect for what those guys have done and the way we've carried ourselves at that position on the team, and I believed it needed to be addressed and emphasized, and those guys responded tremendously. And again, I know how hard it is, right? I mean, I know how hard these guys work. This was not an effort issue. This was this is an accountability. This is what it's going to look like. Play after play after play, and those guys have responded, and I think they've appreciated it. And again, I'll hold you accountable. I'll also be a big cheerleader, and that's what I was on Sunday, and really excited how they responded.
Real quick, what day was that conversation with Matt? Do you recall?
I do not. I mean, it kind of all blurs. So yeah.
Now in week 2. Do you feel like there's stuff you could implement maybe this week that you just were swimming upstream last week and you just couldn't get done?
No, I was involved. We're short-staffed on offense, and so we needed everybody. So yeah, it wasn't a fact of that I couldn't. I just knew where my roles would be best applied, and so no, that hadn't changed. We'll continue the same role structure and process. I believe in process. I believe in continuity, and I think we got a good start, but we got to keep progressing. This week's even more of a challenge than last week. Keep stacking. attacking, and the better you play, the more you have to continue to work. And so, but no, I contributed last week. I will do the same this week. And man, we got to get better. In every phase, we understand each group, each unit has to continue to proceed forward, and we're not shying away from it. We got a big task at hand.
Jeff, you said last week that you were like drinking water from a fire hose.
Yeah.
Not that you're comfortable, but how much better prepared are you now that you get a full week and you've kind of put that first week behind you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Getting a full Monday is enormous, right? Is that we had a full Monday as a staff before, and whereas that we did not get that last week. And so just that, it sounds trivial, but it's not. Those 12 hours that we can all get together and make sure that we're all on the same page are vital. And so I think just having that, I felt from a process standpoint and just a chance to breathe for everybody, it gave us a little bit more. But again, the task is still there, but you get more time to spread it over.
Jeff, you're short-staffed on offense, and you've said that several times, and you are obviously.
Yeah.
You know so many people. Have you tried to bring somebody? Edgerrin James seems to be very happy about this.
My man,
Seriously, have you tried anybody?
No.
else?
I like the group. I like the support they give each other. They're clearly defined roles, and I'm happy with where we are. And again, bringing somebody in, trying to learn an entire process or how we've done things. I like where the guys are, and so I don't anticipate that. I'm not guaranteeing it, but in my head, I haven't had a chance to get that far. I'm trying to get week 2 under my belt, but yeah, I appreciate it, but not quite yet.
What would it be like on Sunday walking out there as the head coach, this franchise you've had such an impact on, being at home?
Oh man, I'm
Have you thought
excited.
about that?
Yeah, but you just bringing it up brings a smile to my face because I haven't thought about it. But man, every time I come back here, whether it was 2 weeks ago with Bone and walking out with him and the guys, that's different, man. I mean that home, I love it. So I'm definitely excited about it, and just to be back here, and it just. There's something different. And so I'll make sure. I got a question, I think it was last Sunday, about, what was your mindset in walkthrough? And my mindset is I got to taper. I'm amped. I got to make sure we don't spend it all in warm-ups, right? Like, let's make sure that we, keep composure and keep this thing. That'll be more for me. I get super excited for our fans and want to do our best and want to show the league how good these guys in this locker room are. But I'll definitely be excited.
When you were a player, did you want to coach?
I always considered it. I love, and I got into coaching originally for my kids. I love that, and I think it's. I've told people I think football in particular translates to the world like no other. I mean, you got 11 guys. Everybody has a specific duty they have to do, and how does that look? And if one person does it, the 10 other fail with the one. And so I've always loved that principle, and I feel like we've grown from it. So that was always my favorite. I coached all kinds, but that one in particular is why I loved it as much as I did.
Jeff, as a former center, you've probably played a lot of really good D tackles. When you see Grover Stewart doing what he's doing out there, what do you see in him?
Oh, man. First of all, I see one of the happiest human beings I've ever been around. I mean, this dude is always – he actually reminds me of Tarek. Like, his presence in, like, the locker room always – I mean, people – he's a magnet, right? Everybody always wants to be around him and laugh with him. And when he gets in between them stripes, man, he is a dude and plays so well. He was actually one of our captains, so he'll address the team. And, man, but I love his heart. I love his effort. He gives it all every play, and he demands that of the guys around him. And so, Big Grove, man, I always tease him. I was like, Grove, if I lined up with you, bro, I'm going to get you. You know what I mean? He's like, Coach, it's a different game now. So we go. But I love him. I'm glad he's on my squad.
Jeff, just so is Matt Ryan your starting quarterback?
Yeah, he's my starting quarterback.
Jeff, you guys tried out long snappers yesterday. Is there anything going on with Luke?
I'll say he had a child, which is awesome for him. So I hope that was public knowledge. If not, I apologize. I don't think like that. But yeah, man. I mean, congrats to he and his bride. And he had a small strain on his calf, and so we just made sure not being here because of the baby, and then that, make sure that we're armed up in case.
Jeff, with Shaq being out, Bobby O's been in there pretty much all season. What are your first early impressions of him and how he performed against the Raiders and kind of carrying that forward?
Yeah, made a great play. I mean, the PBU at the end. I mean, he's a guy who's going to give you everything he has. I love his heart. I mean, I feel a bit spoiled at linebacker, right? I mean, like with this football team, we got guys who can. First of all, they're long, but they are fast. I mean, they are all over the field, and so that brings you a definite level of comfort. And so the way that he's played, though, man, every challenge has been put before him. He's met it. He's got a great attitude of leadership. I mean, he encourages guys. He's always upbeat, bouncing around. So he and Z both, man, have done a really tremendous job. So yeah, been really proud of what he did. And again, making that impact play like at the end. I mean, for anybody, but just the confidence that grows from those type of plays in those moments. I just love that it happened for him.
Jeff, any update on Quiddy's ankle?
No, I mean, he's just getting treatment and, in a boot and getting treatment.
Do you know if it's the same ankle that he's been dealing with this year?
I do not know. I apologize.